Creepers! How the heck are you, crazy creeps? It is an absolutely beautiful day here in Portland, Oregon. We got the sun shining, the sky's blue, and the city right behind me. And if you guys can see, kind of right out here behind me, this red bridge here is going to be the location of today's creepin'. That's right, California Raisins, the Noid, Will Vinton, just to name a couple things. Oh, and the appropriate attire as well. A ton of magic happened here in the late 80s, all the way up until about 2000. Will Vinton Studios had their hands in everything, including some of the guys that you remember, the California Raisins, the Noid, a ton more things. Today, we are gonna check out where Will Vinton's plans for Portland would have changed everything. It'd have been a game changer. It'd have been like Portland's Disneyland, Will Vinton style. Stay tuned. It's definitely gonna be a good one. Streetcar going by. Beautiful shot of downtown this morning. Be a little loud. We're standing here on the Broadway Bridge, but right behind me is the city of Portland, and right over there is the Union Pacific, the train station. In the late 80s, early 90s, Portland's own Will Vinton, that's right, the creator of the California Raisins, the Noid, just to name a few, had big plans here for Portland, Oregon, right next to the train station. Portland's very own Claymation station, that's right, kind of like the Disneyland Will Vinton style. We're gonna go check this out, and you're not gonna wanna miss this one. So if you like Will Vinton and you're a fan of the Raisins, the Noid, M&Ms, any little claymation figure, more than likely it was created by Bob Gardner and Will Vinton in the 90s here in Portland. But like I said, Will Vinton, the creative genius, had a plan for Portland. Today we're gonna go check out where Claymation Station was gonna be, and it would have been a huge game changer here for Portland. Even got the appropriate Hey Arnold shirt on. Craig Bartlett actually worked for the creator of Hey Arnold, actually worked at Will Vinton Studios also. So just a ton of magical things out of that studios back in the day, helping pave the way for Will Vinton Studios and all of his success. Like I said, California Raisins, the Noid. He actually created the digital version of the M&Ms, and Will wanted to take it to the next step. He actually was so fond of Walt Disney, he kind of wanted to be the next Walt Disney, even kind of using the same font for Will Vinton Studios as Disney, the W, kind of similar to the Walt Disney W, and just an all-around creative genius his whole life. And he had huge plans for Portland right back over here, right where you guys see this big tower here that says "Go by Train." This is actually our Union Pacific, where you would, if you come into town on the train or bus or Amtrak, that is our station there, the red station. And obviously Portland has grown tremendously since the 90s, late 80s. So a lot of this newer development wasn't here, obviously. But Will had a vision like no other to create a theme park based on all of his creations. The California Raisins being probably his #1 marketing, you know, what he is best known for, rather, biggest marketing tool. Now, he also had worked with a ton more commercials and things over the years that kind of paved the path to where we are now. One being a commercial that he, you know, directed and created for Rainier Beer which kind of led to the financial backings for other projects, not to mention his Closed Mondays that he is best known for winning the Oscar for with Bob Gurner in the 70s. And it was about a drunk, inebriated guy that kind of entered the Portland Art Museum, and all the paintings and stuff come to life. And that really kind of helped, you know, Will get his name for Vinton Studios, his name, you know, kind of on the map. And a lot more companies and stuff realized how much his creative genius could really help them, especially with, you know, kids not really enjoying Raisins, but Will finding kind of the right tool to kind of market them to everyone. So they had a huge foot in the door already with all the, you know, all the things that he had created previously. And he was basically at the top of his game, and was even the Grand Marshal for the Rose Floral Parade. But here is Union Station, like I said, our huge train station here, right on the west wing of this huge Broadway bridge here that stretches all the way to the other side where we were just at. And right down here is where the plans for Claymation Station would come about. And like I said, Will's vision to create a giant theme park based on all his claymation characters would have sat right down in here. None of this was here at the time. This is all, you know, brand new construction and stuff over the last probably 20 years or so. But Will's vision for this place, I could have definitely seen it happen as well, just because he was trying to utilize this space to its fullest potential. And this basically kind of just being a wasteland back in the day, you know, none of this sat here other than this little property down here, which in fact, this area from about here on in the blueprints that I found would have stretched pretty much all the way over to the other side of the front of Union Station here. So this whole area would have been where Will's vision was, you know, for his theme park, with all his characters kind of walking around. And he also wanted to utilize, you know, the trains and the station here, the tracks, being able to maybe even take guests back and forth from the station to where they were staying. He wanted to have a giant motel, you know, hotel built. And he had plans on, you know, all of his characters being involved, not only with talking trash cans, but all the California Raisins kind of hanging out in the area, kind of like Disneyland, where you would do, you know, see the different mascots and stuff when you visit the park. So Will's invention, or his intention rather, was to, you know, utilize this big space and really create Claymation Station, kind of the Disneyland of Portland. Now obviously that never panned out, and all this is here today. But I also found some articles online. The Oregonian talks about Will's intentions for this, and he actually was interviewed back then, and they said, you know, what was your thoughts on this? And he says, well, I really wanted to create something for Portland to enjoy. I really had the space and the, you know, the creative genius to make that happen. And he saw that, you know, when Walt Disney had plans and kind of used that to kind of gain his knowledge to get Disney on board with the original Disneyland, which I thought was, I think it was called California something, California Park or something like that before it was actually Disneyland. Adam the Woo actually did a whole video about how Disney proposed, you know, this section of land to use originally, and they denied it. Same with here. But Portland was on board with this. They actually said, yeah, if you guys can, you know, develop some blueprints and some obviously financial backing kind of wasn't an issue then, Will being on top of his game, then we're all in. So the city of Portland said, heck yeah, let's do this. And so Will actually drew up some blueprints. And in the blueprints, you can kind of see where all this lays. Now, the blueprints would have been on the opposite side, so we're going to go over here onto the opposite side of Union Station. I'll kind of show you guys more of the layout of those blueprints. But yeah, basically this whole little area right in here would have been the home to Claymation Station. So Vinton and the production team proposed their idea to the city, actually had the blueprints ready, and Bill Nato at the time was totally on board. He said, let's revitalize the neighborhood and really see its full potential. And so he proposed the kind of rough draft blueprints to Bill Nato, and they were all on board. We're gonna go down these stairs too and get a little better shot of kind of what's just left of the little bit of space that was still, that would have been considered Claymation Station. Most of this has been developed now over the years, as you can see, but this whole area here right under the bridge would have been part of it. And I believe this is kind of where maybe the hotel would have sat adjacent, just from the blueprints that I saw. You can kind of see in the blueprint, it's kind of hard to see because there are just kind of rough drafts, but you can see where the end of the bridge here on this side into downtown, you would have seen where in the blueprints he basically had it to where the ending of the bridge here would have been the starting of, you know, the entrance or the exit, so that folks could have been able to utilize the train tracks as well to kind of maneuver back and forth from place to place. And yeah, I just gotta love it and think that, you know, he kind of saw what Disney saw when no one else did also, and said, hey, you know, no one really believed Walt's vision, and that wasn't the case. He actually had a lot of people backing him, and they knew how creative, you know, Will was. But this is pretty much all that's left of this little, you know, area that wasn't used for many years. Still to this day, just kind of an open space. So not quite sure what, you know, will eventually be built here. But yeah, to think that's where it all sat. I can just imagine some California Raisins walking around down here meeting the guests. So cool. So yeah, these like apartments or condos are down here now. It's quite peaceful actually. It's very nice down in here. And yeah, this would have been pretty much the stomping grounds for that theme park. So it kind of gives me a cool vibe just thinking that that actually could have happened. Unfortunately, Will did pass away October 4th of 2018. So any of his other, you know, projects obviously never happened. He actually started Vinton Enterprises, which is kind of his newest, you know, his newest creations. Kind of losing his company to some things that happened with, you know, Phil Knight and his son Travis kind of buying him out. This would have all been just open space like that field. And I was able to kind of, like I said, find those blueprints of where everything would have been kind of nestled in down here. So we're gonna actually go up onto this other little walk bridge here and see if I can get a better shot of where kind of the blueprints would have been. But yeah, this is just a tremendous like area space wise, so it would have been perfect. And yeah, I didn't even know this little walking bridge was here. This is cool. So let's go over here and see if we can maybe match up those blueprints. I'm actually thinking it might have been off on the other side, but yep, definitely got some cool vibes coming through here. I just absolutely love Will Vinton and all the Raisins and stuff, so pretty darn cool. Go over this walking bridge here. Nice shot of the city. Yeah, I didn't know this little walking bridge here was cool. This is neat. Very neat. But yeah, this whole area would have been so awesome to see all his characters, the Raisins, kind of walking around greeting guests. There was also talks of, you know, different random items like talking garbage cans, and I just couldn't imagine how it would be. I mean, I can kind of see where it would have been. Now, he was working on a newer character called Wilshire Pig, who was introduced in the comedy horror kind of Halloween claymation special, and he was kind of hoping that Wilshire Pig would have been his next kind of big character. He thought maybe those guys would be kind of hanging out down here too. But yeah, this has all been utilized now in those old blueprints. Really, none of this was here. All you could see was, you know, the station here, all this open land. But where I realized it would have been kind of adjacent to the actual Union Station was not only the blueprints, but you can actually see that bridge too in the blueprint. Kind of one of the more clearer things, including this big tower here on the Union Station. But yeah, that would have been it right down in there. That is so darn cool. And I honestly remember being in like 4th or 5th grade and turning on the news and seeing the little, like maybe minute and a half news thing talking about it. And at the time, you know, I was already a huge fan of the California Raisins, kind of my first love. Garfield, California Raisins, and then Simpsons obviously now. But this would have been something, man. It would have drawn a lot of tourism and a lot of jobs and revenue, and not to mention just the total awesomeness of having Will Vinton and all his creations just right here behind me. Claymation Station. So cool, but I'm just, man, I wish it would have happened. Wish it would have happened. But walking through there, that was neat. Definitely gave me some good vibes. Really just a beautiful train station here. They've got it all decked out with all these beautiful roses when you walk through here. Speaking of California Raisins, these palm trees always remind me of Cali. But yep, right behind here, pretty cool. Show this placard real quick too. Wow, 1896 is when it opened. It's the oldest continuous operator railroad passenger stations in the United States. Pretty darn cool. Just a beautiful train station. Here's where you purchase your tickets. Just wanted to come in here real quick and show you guys it. They've actually got some old-timey pictures down here too. But yeah, I didn't know this was the oldest train station. I like these old-timey pictures that they always put in here too. A couple of them over here. Go by train. Here's an old-timey pic right here. Look at this one. 1915. Wow. Another one over here too. Yeah, this place is really pretty. So here's, oh, this is great, because look at, you can see kind of right where we were. Oh, that's awesome. So that whole area there, just adjacent to where these other trains are parked to the right, that whole area would have been the Claymation Station. Oh, I'm glad I came in here to see that pic too. Kind of gives us a better perspective of it. But yeah, this place is cool. All right, let's head out. Just wanted to show you guys in here as well. Just a beautiful. And I also noticed when I first walked up, if you guys see where they have the bike locks here, or you know, the bike racks, they've got these birds here for Portlandia. It's kind of the whole put a bird on it. So they got one here and one here. That is too funny. All these pretty roses out here too. Huge rose garden. Yeah, they've got this decked out nice. And I have to say, I didn't realize that it was the oldest one too. And I'm glad to get that old-timey shot to give you guys kind of the better perspective of kind of what the lay of the land looked like. Pretty darn neat though. Speaking of clay, I'm noticing all these little claymation pieces along this fence line here at the school. Yeah, I believe it's clay. They put it in the kiln and kind of I remember making some clay things in art class. I absolutely loved it. Will Vinton would be proud. This little guy here. Goodbye. All right. I wanted to come show this too and kind of tie it into this vlog. This is one of my favorite places here in Northwest, 1400 Northwest 22nd and Petty Grove. This was actually the very first actual studios for Will Vinton Productions, Will Vinton Studios. Behind these doors is where all the magic happened. Raisins, the Noid, the M&Ms, even Hey Arnold, created by Craig Bartlett. The very first renditions came out of this place, so a lot of magic over the years happened right here in Vinton Studios, kind of making room and way for all the things to be had here with Vinton and his creations. And I just absolutely love coming up here to see the old studios. None of the Claymation Station or anything, any of those ideas would ever came into fruition if it wasn't for, you know, just the beginnings of his studios here. And yeah, just a lot of talented folks throughout the years. I just love it. California Raisins. Rest in peace, Will. Portland loves you, and we definitely miss seeing your creations. But that's going to do it from the old Will Vinton Studios. I hope you guys enjoyed the Claymation Station kind of idea. Walt Disney and Will Vinton had a lot of similar ideas, and you know, just like with Walt's idea, kind of maybe not taken as seriously. Same with Will's. Claymation Station never did happen, but a ton of greatness did come out of these studios, and forever I will be thankful to Will Vinton for the Raisins and just a lot of great childhood memories. But that's gonna do it from Northwest Portland. I love you guys for always creeping with. Make sure you guys leave me some of your favorite, you know, Will Vinton memories, Raisins, whatever you remember. And yeah, that would have been it right there. Will Vinton Studios. All these years later, it's now home to Tillamook ice cream. So pretty darn cool. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I think Will's office was this middle window right up top here, so he would have been able to see all of Portland from his offices. Yep, Claymation Station never did happen, but a lot of good magic out of these studios. And I'll insert some shots too. I found some old-timey pics of the building, kind of with some of his claymation figurines on the front pillars and whatnot. But definitely a lot of good memories out of this place. And I really do wish that Claymation Station would have happened, but that's okay. Make sure you guys hit that red subscribe button. You can ring that bell. That way when I creep, you guys will be the first to creep. If you did enjoy it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Till next time. Thanks again, Will. Rest in peace. Creeper out for now. Peace.